Now what I'm going to do now is check the wiring, because I know the ignition switch is okay, which I've done in my previous test. I use the same principle with my diagram. Look, that's up like that, so that's Magneto top like that, and obviously then when you pull your wiring loom off you. Now I'm going to show you how to test the wiring now. We've tested the switch in my last video, that's all good. Top one is Magneto, that one there is battery, solenoid, earth, ground, and that one there's lights, which I'm not particularly bothered about. So when you put them in there, that determines which one's which. So first of all, I'm going to test this one here, that one, which is to the battery. Right, and then we're going to get a multimeter, put it on ohms. I'm going to select, press the button. I want the audible thing, so a loop test, continuity, test it, make sure it's working. Yep, okay, that's good. So I'm going to put one end in the battery terminal there, like so. I'm going to go round the back and then put one end right on the same colour wiring. As you see, this the loom, look, the red and white. I'm going to put one end on there like that. So I'm going to just prove it with a multimeter now, so it's still an audible. Got one end poked in the spade connector and the ignition connection there, the 5-port thing. And now I'm going to touch on there the battery terminal, which is that one coming from the loom. That proves that. Hear the audible? So that proves that's good. Right, next test. I'm going to test the Magneto. So looking at my switch, M to the top. So that's that one in there. I'm going to poke one end in there on the continuity test, audible. And then one down to the Magneto. Right, that proves wiring's good to there, so that one's done. Next one I'm going to test is the ground terminal. Which if you look at that, that's that one with the G, ground, earth, that one there. Right, match it up to there, so that's that port there. And put that one in there, and that's ground. If you look at the colour of the wiring, that's the same going in the back of the switch there. Look, that one, the red and black. Ready, touch it on there. That proves that's okay, that's all good. Right, last one to check is the solenoid. So as I look at that, that's S, which is that one. See that one? That spade connector, that one, on your thumb on. So as you look at the way that goes in, like so, it's that port there. When I look at the colour of the cable, that's the orange one, pure orange, see? There, pure orange one. So I will do the same thing with that, and that one goes all the way back to the solenoid, which is this one here. Right, pull that off. Alright, so I need to put the connection on there from my multimeter, one from there and one into the back of there to get the continuity test now. And I've just tried the continuity test, one terminal in there, one at the back on the orange wire, nothing. So, which means there's a break in the wire somewhere. So that's why the starter wasn't working in the first place. So what I'm going to have to do, rather than strip the whole loom to bits, is I'll probably run just a separate wire on its own. It doesn't really matter what colour it is. And then run it through cut the wire here like that and do a connection, and then put a little heat shrink on it on there like that, cut into the cable, and then disregard that old one. Next thing, I'm not going to open up all this old wiring loom because you can't get to it all, and it's all in case. So I'm going to cut the orange wire about there. Just want some side cutters. Look, cut that. I know that's a daft one. Leave that as it is, disregard that. Then you can strip that back and put a connection on there. And what I'm using is an old piece of garden flex, see, off an old appliance. That's external. I'm going to leave that encased in the insulation there, so I'm going to run that from there, just strap it where I can to the existing loom with zip ties, and run it all the way back under. I'll leave that wire as a spare because that might come in handy, the blue. Use the brown, put a spade connector, so that will go onto there like that. I'll show you the rest in a minute. So that's the plan. It's easier than taking the loom off and unwrapping it all. Don't want all that hassle. To run the cable through to the ignition switch, I've had to remove the plate there. That just sits on there. There's a couple of screws and pop rivet type things in it. Pull that off. You have to unwind them like that. They just screw on the handles, and then I'm going to run the cable through here to the back and then just strap it to the existing wiring loom. Right, I've run the cable through now, stripped that back about that much with some side cutters. There's the cable that we're going to join onto, so just go like that about there, pinch that on with some side cutters, pull it right off. Right. Then what you need to do, got one of these little heat shrink things, put that over that side of the cable, like that. Them two wires, we're going to lace them together. I don't know if you can see that, hold on. Right, just like that. Right, I'm not going to solder them because I want the cable still flexible. So I'm going to twist them together like so. Right. And then you slide the heat shrink, press that in, heat shrink thing over. Make sure there's no sharp bits poking out. Right. And you poke that over. These heat shrinks come in all different sizes, by the way. Now, get it into the middle, like so. Go with a heat gun now, one of these Black & Decker old stripper gun. Right, what? Just go gentle with the heat. And you'll see it eventually, it'll start closing in on the wire. Can you see it going? So you don't want to go too mad. You just keep going until you see it closed up